Michelle George from the Tsleil-Waututh band in North Vancouver, and Hannah Sokol and Joe Wadhams. And they're going to talk to you today about the work that they've been doing with the Aboriginal Skills Group. Well, I'll let them give the history on the Aboriginal Skills Group and what they've been doing and how they're using the tools. But please welcome Joe and Hannah and Michelle. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. If you have visionary challenges, you might want to move closer and so you can read the slides. There's lots of room up here, and I wouldn't have to talk as loud. But if you're comfortable where you are, by all means, stay there. I want to introduce the staff, and I'm Michelle George. I've been with Aboriginal Skills Group only since December. However, I've been one of their partner organizations. I was the band manager at Coquitlam First Nation, and we worked with Van ASAP for about a year from Coquitlam, and we ran a few programs, trades programs like heavy equipment operation, some essential skills support, assessments, things like that. So I was quite familiar with Van ASAP when I moved to Van ASAP. And Van ASAP was a funded program that started in 2005, and it had a 7-year cycle. And Van ASAP has just recently transitioned into the Aboriginal Skills Group. And I'd like, the work I do with Aboriginal Skills Group now is I'm a community liaison, and I work inside the communities where we operate programs, and I assist with all the administrative support for the programs we're running. And a couple of the programs that we've just recently run in the Tsleil-Waututh Nation, which is in North Vancouver in the Deep Cove area. And I'm actually a Squamish band member, and I've been located in Tsleil-Waututh for about 27 years. And we just recently have been running a Professional Cooks Level 1 program, and we started March 5th, and it's a 6-month program. And it's funded by Aboriginal Skills Group, the Tsleil-Waututh Nation itself, and Finesse provides support as well, First Nations Employment Society, to the participants. We have 12 students in our program, and they're all doing excellent. We've lost one student, we're at the halfway mark, and the student just didn't fit with their lifestyle, and they decided to drop the program. And so I'd like Hannah and Joe to introduce themselves to you and let you know what type of work they do with Aboriginal Skills Group.
My name is Joe Wadhams. I've actually only been with Aboriginal Skills Group for about 4 to 5 months now. I actually ended up being one of the students from one of the previous programs, and I was so persistent after the program ended that I ended up showing up every day for about a week asking for a job because I was very interested in what they were doing and the direction that they were going, that they actually gave me a job as one of the essential skills instructors. So it's been quite an amazing ride so far. It's been very educating, and even for myself, it's been very helpful because I had a very rough high school and I didn't go through very much. But as soon as I was introduced to the 3G Essential Skills, even my own education rose and skyrocketed from grade 10 all the way up to even college level as well. So it's been very, very educating, very, very amazing work that we've been doing so far.
My name is Hannah Sokol, and I work out at the Tsawwassen Gateway Skills Center. And my main focus is the heavy equipment operator students, but I also help out with the administrative side of the office over there. And I do the Essential Skills 3G test for other students. We just have a carpentry class there finishing up right now, and we're currently running a heavy equipment operator phase 2 class, technical training. And I'm also a former student. I graduated about a year and a half ago in the supply chain course, and I graduated at the top of my class, so I was offered a position here, and I've been here ever since.
So that's some of the types of training that Aboriginal Skills Group currently provides. We have construction, heavy equipment operation, supply chain, and the Professional Cooks Level Level 1 training. And I'll do the presentation, and the presentation's focused on the 3G assessment, and it's quite a bit of information about how that works for us at Aboriginal Skills Group. But if any of you have questions after the presentation, it's quite a short presentation, then we'll have an opportunity to talk about how we use the 3G in the work we do. And just a little bit of history, why it's called 3G is that this is our third generation of assessments since Van Aesop has been doing assessments. I believe that Van Aesop started with TOWs, and I think there's probably a large variety of reasons why it might not have been the most effective for the communities that we serve. And Jen gave me an example yesterday, actually. She had said that in the early days, and Jen was here with us yesterday, she's been a long-time staff member of Van Aesop. They used to go up into communities and they would do 30 assessments at 9 in the morning, 30 assessments at 1, and 30 assessments at 4 in one single community. And then they would leave the community, which might have been a 3-hour drive from Vancouver, and wait for the results and try to contact all the clients again. And it just wasn't being the most effective for the organization and the clients that we were serving. And so they went on to the
Passport to apprenticeship
assessments, and then from there we've moved on to the 3G assessment. So these are some of the statistics of our assessments over the years. It says over 10,000 visits in the past year, over 2,300 were unique visitors. 5,921 tests have been written, and over 100,000 individual test questions have been answered. This is about the profiles. There are 90 profiles covering a range of occupations, including trades, healthcare, retail, food service, office administration, mining, shipbuilding, power generation, and supply chain.
So our assessments are actually all industry standards specific to heavy equipment or carpentry, whatever the student wishes to enroll in, it is industry specific.
Assessment. Tests 7 essential skills: reading, document use, numeracy, writing, and speaking, listening skills. Tests can be taken separately. You want to explain that, Joe?
Yeah, as she was saying about the TOWs, they only test 3 of the essential skills. We test 6 of the essential skills. It's actually there, 7. It's 6. Basically, it's a little bit more in depth, and it's just to get a better result, to see exactly how they're progressing and how qualified they are to be in the course. If they're not qualified, then we basically put them into Plato, which we will explain later on.
So these are the results reports. Compares test taker skills to the requirements of specific occupations. It's fully customized, and the reports are instantly generated the moment they finish their test. And I'll give you an example of how successful this is. With our professional cooks level 1, we had assessed about 30 potential participants, and we selected 12, and each participant that was selected had to have gotten above 70% on the assessment specifically for professional cooks level 1. And our students are having a wonderful success rate. Every single student is passing the course with at least 80%. And we only had one student who their math wasn't quite there. So like Joe said, we supported her by, she did Plato for about 2 weeks. She'd come into the office every day for a couple of hours, and the staff would support her. And she redid the test and was quite successful on the test. And she actually is our student with the highest grade. She's our youngest student as well, and she's doing really well and loving the course. So we create learning plans, identifies which Plato resources to use to address skill gaps, provides learners with direct access to Plato resources. And that's what I was just explaining, that if they were interested in supply chain or heavy equipment operation, if they were just missing the mark a little bit in one area of the essential skills, the staff would work with them until they were able to successfully participate in the course.
And we are directly linked, so once you sign on a learner and add a new learner, you take off Plato user, and they're automatically enrolled into the classes that they need to improve the marks in which they're lacking. So it does make our process a little bit simpler.
And since the Plato has been integrated with the 3G, whichever classes they do, whichever aspects of the assessments that they do fail, whether it be reading, document use, or numeracy, let's just go with numeracy. There are 12 different subjects in the numeracy that we go through. And the way it integrates with Plato is, if you fail, say, the algebra aspect, it'll automatically put you into the Plato part of it and give you all the assignments already. It'll already give you, especially with the 3D assessment, as soon as you finish the numeracy part, it'll give you the mark and it'll already put you into the Plato. As soon as you finish the writing, it'll automatically put you into the Plato. As soon as you finish, say, the English part of it, then if you fail, then it'll automatically put you into Plato, and you're already enrolled into the classes, and you're already ready to go into Plato, if you need the upskilling.
That's
Do we
our
have
short
any
presentation.
questions?
You were talking about it integrates right into Plato. Now, with you guys' codes and our Plato codes, if you use that code on that one client, you can't use that code at the same time with another client.
Let me address that. Leonard, it works different than the ITA system, so they don't buy access codes. It's a direct integration between 3G and Plato, and it's all based on subscriptions. So how many of our subscriptions is simultaneous learners? So their account right now has a certain limit to the number of learners that can be online at the same time. But they might have 15 learners on 1 hour, 15 the next hour, 15 the next hour. They can all be different. And they don't need, the learners don't need to register with the code to authorize them. The trainers put the learners in the system, they register the learners in the system, and they say whether that learner has access to Plato or not. And then if they do have access to Plato, as soon as they finish their assessments, they can click on a link and it takes them right over to Plato. They don't have to log into Plato, and the whatever assessments they need are right there.
How do you know if a person's off of Plato so that somebody else can use it?
Well, they do them in a classroom setting, so we
Okay.
do supervise them. We're there all the time. The only two people are me and Joe that really do work with Plato, so.
Yeah, we do get the exception to send them home as well, but we will be monitoring that.
Yeah.
But it also says on the page 24, that's how it's integrated with Plato as well.
So that's the only difference, is that it's integrated, because it looks very familiar with the ITA assessments.
Yeah.
The only difference with the ITA assessments, you have to go in there and put everything in there and apply there.
Well, the same guy that developed it for ITA developed it for
Oh, okay.
3G.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember in Phil's presentation this morning, he talked about the API and the SSO tools in Plato. API is Application Programming Interface, SSO is Single Sign-On. And what the Aboriginal Skills Group has done is they've taken those two capabilities, new capabilities of Plato, and API allows two separate web applications to talk to each other. So